Hi, I'm live. I'm only 3 minutes late. Happy Friday. I worked this morning. I went swimming. I got a haircut and then I colored my hair myself. I got a great clips cut. And then I got a box of color too, because mostly I need it for this part. How is everybody tonight? I'm good. I didn't get myself something to drink. Wait, I have water over here. I'm gonna get water. I stopped buying bottles of water, y'all. I refill it. I refill these. Hi, Ronald. How are you? I need to light my candle. I'm gonna light my candle. Gonna light. I'm gonna light my owl candle. 4 minutes late. No, 3 minutes late on my end. You were 1 minute late coming back in here. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Red's followers are called flames. Let me play you something on my flute. Hi, Melody Boss. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you around in a while. How are you? I keep on bouncing around. I had a work meeting too, and after I was off. Hi, Dolores. Hello, hello, hello. I worked from 5:15 till noon. Then I went and got my hair cut and got some hair color and colored my hair. And I had to go back to work at 4:30 because we had a meeting. And yeah, I got paid today from the last, like, my last pay period was 2 weeks ago, and that check got lost in the mail. So I got 2 paychecks today, which was nice. And I deposited them. My painting, I said yesterday, my painting fell down. Oh, it scared me. And I'm like, hope I got these 8 of them. So these are what's holding up the bunny picture. See the bunny picture. So I got, this is what they had. So I got 2 of them at Target to hang the painting back up. Oh. You're in Pennsylvania? Yeah, I might move by my daughter in Philly, but I might move to New Jersey because I want to be by the ocean. So I'll just be like an hour away from her. So I might move to New Jersey next year. I'm excited about that. I hope that it works out. I've been praying about that. Yeah, so there's the painting I hung back up. So my friend that painted this lives in Pennsylvania too. Yeah, I don't want to pounded nails because, you know, it's an apartment. I don't want to mess up the walls, you know. And so, and the story, hi, hey, Bren, hi, good to see you. I'm good. Been busy, been working and stuff. Been not cooking as like, well, cooking and freezing stuff and I need to oh, you're in Central, away from Pittsburgh in Philadelphia. Well, Pittsburgh is on like the western side, right? Because I drove through. Is it like up in the corner? Pennsylvania is a long state. I drove through the whole like state, I feel like, to get to Philadelphia. So yeah, it's a nice state though. I don't know. It's still not settled exactly where, but somewhere near my daughter, which will be cool, near the grandbabies, Freya and Lily. Oh, it says Redheaded Riding Hood is live now. That's Freya. And this painting is the Warrioress of Love, right? And hi, Elsa. Hello. And so I got it because it's Freya's name. She's named for the Warrioress of War and Love. And then my middle grandbaby is Lily. I'll show you a picture. I'm flying there to see them, and on the 8th, there's Lily. That's now my middle grandbaby, not the youngest grandbaby, because the youngest grandbaby was just born in February. So yes, I'm excited. But and I want to read you the William Barclay. And we're going to talk about codependency. Nevertheless, I think I'll read you this first instead of last this time. How about that? We'll get it out of the way. And I do it. There's somebody outside. I had to take this thing off the back of my painting because it wasn't going to lay flat against the wall because these screws. And so I took that off of there. And so I'm going to be selling all this furniture I bought in 2022 on Facebook Marketplace again. And that's what I'm planning on doing when I go to Philadelphia or New Jersey or wherever I'm going to move on the East Coast. And so I'm going to try and fit everything in my car again. And so I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be downsizing a lot again. But I didn't buy too much stuff. It's just a 1-bedroom apartment. So I'm going to start on that soon. I hear fire truck. But yeah, we're going to talk about codependency. Gosh, you guys, it's just, it has changed my life learning about this, and I'm getting better, and it's improving things in my life so much. So I wanted to talk to you all about it, and I'm taking a class with Lisa Abramano. Let me put the link in the chat. I'm taking the 12-week breakthrough coaching class, and it's to learn about what caused your codependency and how to break the patterns and everything. And it's really good. And I tried to take it before and I didn't finish it. So I'm working on it again. And this time I'm going to finish it. So, hi, Eric. How are you doing? We're good. I was just watching a documentary on Diana Nyad. Hi, pre-retirement days. Hi, Betty. Hi, how are you? Let me put Lisa. My eye is being so temperamental. Ah, there. Oh, and I have a poem, and I'm like, that poem is so on codependency. I have a special poem to read you. I didn't put my book over here. My bad. Let me get it. Let me get my book. Where did I put my book? I see it. Here it is. This is my book. It's from 2015. Please pray for Red to finish her other book and to have time to write. So that's why eventually I will be paying less to live. I feel like, hopefully. I think so. Or maybe the same, but at least I'll be paying on a house. When I buy a place, my lease is up here. I'm paying rent right now, but that's not going towards owning something. So that's why I want to buy something. And I don't know, I might have to have a day job. Like before, when they were saying, when they say don't quit your day job, I didn't have a day job. So now I have a day job. So, but it's kind of hard because I'm not having as much time to do YouTube, and I'm still not having, I write all the time. I write every day in my journal, but I'm not like working on my book, you know what I mean? And editing my book, which I need to do. Because I have a new book of poetry that is pretty much finished, and it's called Red, Redeemed, Equipped, Delivered. And yeah, I'll probably share some poems from that for you too. I don't know which one yet, but I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to tape it, do a short video, because I read this every day, and it's a devotional by a theologian who was at the University of Glasgow. He lived from 1907 to 1978. His name's William Barclay, and he was a Christian Universalist. And it's a very good book. So let me turn this little video on. This one's called Nevertheless. Hi, Red-Headed Riding Hood here, Red for short. I'm doing a little short video while I do my live, okay? Nevertheless, Howard Williams has said that often the whole of the Christian faith is contained in the word nevertheless. It happens when prayer seems to be unavailing. Stuart Kennedy wrote of Jesus Christ. He prayed to the Lord and he sweated blood, and yet he were crucified. There is a time when all we can say is nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. It happens when faith seems to be a losing battle. I have been reading William Purcell's magnificent biography of Stuart Kennedy, Woodbine Willie, and the book is full of this. Stuart Kennedy had his own unorthodox way of putting things, and once in his rich Irish brogue, he announced from the pulpit, to the shocked astonishment of a conventional congregation, there comes a time in every man's life when he must wonder what the hell it is all about. He wrote of himself, every man, whether Christian or not, must sooner or later stand in the last ditch face to face with a final doubt. I know that last ditch well. I have stood in it many a time, and I know that before I die, I shall stand there again. And again, there is a time when there is nothing left to say, but nevertheless, I do believe. It happens when events are a complete contradiction of belief. I turn again to Stuart Kennedy. Just before one of the summer battles on the Somme in 1916, Stuart Kennedy had a communion service. There was present a young corporal in the full glory of his splendid physical manhood. As he gave him the bread and the wine, Stuart Kennedy spoke the well-known and well-loved words, the body of our Lord Jesus Christ, which was given for thee, preserve thy body and soul unto everlasting life. The blood of our Lord Jesus Christ, which was shed for thee, preserve thy body and soul unto everlasting life. Three days later, this is sad. He wandered the post-battlefield. He came upon that same young corporal. He died. This is sad. How can any man relate the two things? There comes a time when a man can only say, nevertheless, this will not take my faith away. That one's sad. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Okay, got that out of the way. That was a sad one. Sometimes I do, but usually I don't read them beforehand. So I don't know what's going to happen, what the thing is going to be about, what the devotion is going to be about. But anyways, let me read you a poem in here called The Woman Stuck Inside Her House. That's one I was deciding to read to you guys. But a lot of people, when they think of codependency, think mostly of alcoholics and being like codependent with someone with an addiction, but it's more than just that. So like my parents weren't addicts, but my mom was codependent and my dad was narcissistic, and then my brother had addictions, and so that was just, it was kind of chaotic. And I thought my home life was normal. I'm going to find this poem. Let me see. The Woman Stuck Inside Her House. It's on page 29. If you'd like a copy of the 7-Story Tree, you can PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App me any amount of money and send me your snail mail address, and I will send you a copy of this book. Okay. Thank you all for being here. It says 7 watching. So what I say, page 29. Okay. So this was so the way my codependency like manifested itself is I was always people pleasing, and I was always striving like to make everybody to fix everybody, make everybody happy. And then I was always trying to help people, and a lot of them, bless their heart, bless their hearts, a lot of them, I would say they wanted help. I don't know, but they wouldn't help themselves, you know? I enabled a lot of people through the years. Usually though, I would like move on. Like I can remember there was this one family, they were just a mess. I think they had 7 kids between the 3 of them. They had like yours, mine, and ours. And this couple, they were always behind on something, and we were always giving them money until we finally, I was like, this needs to stop. We're not helping them. They just, come to us every month, and then we were getting further in credit card debt. So anyways, so my ex, although he was narcissistic, but he was also codependent. He liked to help people. It made him feel, me too, actually. I mean, I liked helping people, and it was making me feel important also, but it just was a mess. It just was a mess. And through the years, like, we tried to help lots of people. And like, I still have done this like recently. And it's just like, it's been a gradual though. I can see how I've progressed. I can get discouraged and be like, what? Haven't you learned anything? But it's always good to give people the benefit of the doubt and try and help them. But I don't know. But anyways, so that's part of codependency. And I used to always argue with people, and really that's how this poem came about. So this poem was, I was debating with my ex's, a family member of my ex's, and this poem came about, and through the years, I was a slow learner. I was a slow learner. Through the years, just so many. I learned so much, you guys, from doing Airbnb also. Oh my goodness. But anyways, let me read you this poem because I haven't read you a poem yet. And stop rambling on. I apologize. This one's called "The Woman's Stuck Inside Her House." The verse I put before it is from Romans. Therefore you are inexcusable, O man, whoever you are who judge. For in whatever you judge another, you condemn yourself. For you who judge practice the same things. Romans 2, verse 1. The woman stuck inside her house. Can someone please coax her out? She thinks she's free, but she's not. What is this? Just her sad lot? Peace and love, she says, is the way, but war and hate she speaks all day. The Beatles sang of nowhere, man, this woman's also in his land. Can someone help to stop her pain? If Scarecrow only had a brain. She talks down from her high horse. She can't understand what she does, of course. She's stuck in I, me, my land, while others try to take her hand. She talks of open-mindedness, yet closes the door on their kindness. Lonely, jealous could she be? Yet she has lots of company. Anger, fear, anxiety. She says you hide in your piety. She judges and says, do not judge. She says she doesn't like to debate, but she starts it up. She is too late. They say you become what you focus on. Well, I won't worry about her. I'm gone. Are you offended? You shouldn't be, because this poem is about me. So as I was like judging this person and saying like she's wrong, and I was feeling like I was like slowly realizing I'm doing the same things she's doing to me, and we're just going around, and like it was just this codependency, like trying to control people and what they believe and everything. And it was very much, when I was in the church too, it's like you're trying to be good, and it's just like you have no sense of self. And so, and you guys, I was so codependent with my kids, I didn't even realize it. And so like when they were thank you, Bren. So when they were, blowing me off and rejecting me, and I felt rejected by them, that was devastating. That's why it made me like it was really bad in 2019. It was really bad. And I had to learn. It took me so long. I've been listening to Lisa A. Romano for years. And she answered an email from me years ago. And I told her the situation with my kids. And she said to me, I knew it was important, and I wrote it down. You can't engage with your children until you take back your personal power. And I didn't understand what I knew. It was important. I wrote it down. I remember I wrote it down. I stuck it to my desk where my computer was. And it took me years to be able to let go. And it's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do is be like, I'm going to be okay. I'm enough. I'm going to be okay, even if even if my kids reject me. Thankfully, my middle daughter contacted me again, but it was so important. I was just so bitter and angry though. After at that time, that's when I was away from God too. When I got so low and depressed in 2019, but I still had that plan, which I felt was from God, really. The plan to sell the house and then use that money to pay off all my debt. And I paid off my car and then um, use the rest of it. So it was like $75,000. And I had like $40,000 in credit card debt, and I used like $30,000. Well, I think my RV was 26. No, I sold it for 26. It was more than 26. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but I used cash to buy my RV. And getting out of Georgia and so much stuff to downsize. Oh my goodness. It took me from 2019 to 20, it took me a year. And then at the end, I sold the house and I still had a lot of stuff to go through. I spent 3 weeks in a hotel room, and I was right near my ex's house. I was right near my daughter's house, and I paid for a hotel room for 3 weeks to finish all the stuff so I could fit everything I owned in my car when I left Georgia and went to St. Louis area. I can remember I sent in these videotapes to iMemories, and they put them on digital. I had 4 yearbooks, big, heavy yearbooks from 4 years of high school, and I sent those back to my high school in Boca Raton because I looked up like, what do you do with your yearbooks? Like, how do you recycle your yearbooks? What can you do? And one of the suggestions was send them to your high school. They keep them or something. I don't know, I guess. So that's what I did. I don't know what they did with them, but that's on them. I don't know. I was taking pictures of everything. I got rid of some of my old journals. That was really hard. It was really tough. It was really a tough. That last stuff was really tough. A lot of it was paper. Like the yearbooks. And I had 2,000 books. I donated a lot of them to the Friends of the Library, most of them. So, let me see if I can find another poem that is, but I just wanted to talk about it because a lot of the things I went through, like even the bullying situation, is that I was too involved with these people, and I feel like toxic people, a lot of them really like they know like how you're going to react because you're that type of, oh, she's so sweet, oh, she's and because I was that way, I was a good target for the bullies. It's like, this will do this and this is going to upset her, and and then I react. And so they use them to put student pics on alumni websites mostly. That was a great idea. I hope I don't know. Like one time, one day, if I go back to Boca Raton, maybe I'll go by my high school and say, "Hey, do you have my yearbooks? Or what did you do with them?" I probably don't want to ask. I probably just don't want to ask. But I was just like, it was just something to cost a lot to ship those things. They're heavy. I can't remember how much it cost, but and it was like about $300. There was a lot of things I was waiting on to do that I decided I wanted to do. And after I sold the house, and I was waiting on sending in we had VHS tapes, we had 8mm tapes, and our video recorder thing that we used to watch the 8mm tapes on was broken. So we couldn't even watch them anymore. So like all these, and so I got them all digital. Hi, Mary, how are you? So it was just a great thing. But one of the things that happened during that time, and because I was away from God and I was just like, okay, and I'm leaving the narcissist, and I wasn't like listening to Lisa A. Romano as much. And I was away from my spiritual practice, which was horrible too. And you guys, because I wasn't continuing to learn and work on myself on my codependency and all that, that is why, and because I was away from God, that is why I got involved with all those wrong people on YouTube and got into that whole mess, you know? And I look back on it and like, I got into situations too in my Airbnb. So I did Airbnb from 2017 to 2019. Oh yeah, how is that going? Are you filming any of it? Love Lisa, dear one. Yeah, she calls you dear one. Yeah, let me drop the link again. So I'm taking her class. I tried to take it before, and you guys, I was so this is what I said to her. I said, like, I feel like I couldn't even take the class. I was so reactive, and I was so codependent. I couldn't even handle, like, I did get kicked out of divorce recovery group because it was like so Christian, and I was saying too many things about narcissism. I forget what I actually said, but I would get in trouble everywhere I went. Oh, I'm a slack. Don't call yourself a slacker. You're not a slacker. That's what I've learned from Lisa through oh goodness. Don't talk bad about yourself. I learned that from Joyce Meyer too. Don't say stuff bad about yourself from your own mouth. And Lisa A. Romano and Joyce Meyer say a lot of the same things about like what you're thinking, and it's bad because like you're thinking wrong thoughts. And what Lisa A. Romano always says is it's not you, it's your programming. Because you guys, like I said, in my house growing up, it was just such a mess. And I didn't realize, I mean, I was just a little kid. I didn't realize, but like my brothers got in a fight with my dad, and they hurt my dad. He had hurt his rib. He had this thing. I remember I felt sorry for my dad. And then my brothers moved out, and I was like that's when I was about, I don't know, 7 or 8. I don't know. So she has us journaling and journaling prompts, and I was off work yesterday, and so and I was like, I can't get behind in this class again. I got to do this. And it is hard because like looking back at stuff it's difficult. You have to face it and say, this was not right. This was not right. And that's how I developed codependency, because I saw how my mom reacted, and followed her lead, and she was always trying to help people and fix people, and standing back and letting my dad make a mess of things. And, she would stand back and try to let him lead and didn't want to go against him, but I know it broke her heart, because when and then my brothers moved out and got an apartment for a little while, but then they built a room. They built a room in the garage. Then they built a room behind the house, and I don't know. But then we moved to Florida, and we just like left them all there. And like my sister was 18 too. Like, I feel like my parents just deserted her. But I mean, she came and visited us. She didn't come live with us, but my brother Chris did eventually. And then Mark did for a little while. Oh, thanks, Bren. Yeah. And I'm always so hard on myself, and I'm always like, go, 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 go. And that's what I've realized lately. I'm like, why am I always in such yeah, I feel like she did feel deserted. Only my brother Paul, who was younger than Chris, but Chris had like a lot of learning disabilities and stuff. He was premature when he was born. So Paul was a really good businessman. He bought a house at 19. He started his own business. I remember he used to take all my crayons and melt them down, and he did these candle things with a planner in it. He would make candles out of my crayons, and he would go sell them, and he would sell them to people. And like, he did all these things, and then he started his own business sweeping parking lots. And then he was able to buy a house when he was 19 years old. He bought a house. And so when we moved to Florida in 79, Becky moved out of our house. We all moved to Florida, and my youngest brother, me and my youngest brother, and left my other siblings in California. My brother Tim was already on his own, but he was on and off the drugs, on again, off again with the drugs. And Mark eventually followed us to yeah. So Becky moved in with Chris and Paul, and we moved all the way across the country from California to Florida, Boca Raton, Florida. And so I just felt like we kind of deserted them. Hey, Brenda. Hi, how are you? I'm just talking about like learning how I became codependent. And it's just, I'm happy to be learning this, and I hope, well, I know it's helping me, but it's sad when I looked at it and realized it, and I'm just like, we're repeating patterns that, it's not as bad, but I so didn't want the mess that my parents had, with my brothers and their problems and stuff. And um, my dad was narcissistic, and so my mom was codependent. So he sort of like ran things and like controlled her, and she was the one that was nurturing and loving and all that. And like this thing repeated itself, and I became the codependent one. And then I married someone like my dad who was narcissistic, and it was like the same thing. It was like you raise the children and you be the nurturing one, and you make dinner, and you make us look like the perfect little. And my mom used to take these pictures, family photos, like I'll show you. Here's one, but it's very long ago because that's me, the baby. But we have one on Easter where I'm a little bit older. But yeah, that's our family, and only us three are left. So this was one of the journals. It was very hard for me. I think it was only one, and I feel bad that I did. I threw away one of my mom. I threw away a lot of my journals, but I had many of my mom's journals, and this is one I saved, and I left one with the stuff that I left for my daughter. I gave her one. I don't know if she saved it or not. I would like to know what she did with the stuff, but I have never really found out. Oh, well, I know like wood things my dad made. She gave a train to Claire Bear. She's like, look, Sarah sent me a train. This is something my dad made, and I'm gonna try and find a woodworker person to make the eye that was lost. That was something my dad made for my son Ian, and it looks kind of. And this is a year of the dragon, and it looks sort of Chinese. And my mother-in-law had said in my poem about my kids that Ian's name sounded like her dad's name, which was Ing, because she's from Taiwan. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. We picked kind of a family name with that too, because we picked Ian because it's a Scottish form of John, and there's Johns in our family. Like I have a brother John. My mom had a brother John. So I have an Uncle John. My kids have an Uncle John. My mom had an Uncle John because my grandmother's brother was also John. So we carried on the John, but it's Ian. Ian is means God is gracious. It's a Scottish form of John. It's hard work to get away from codependency. Yes. Yeah. Lots of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Yes, exactly. My daughter lives with a codependent legacy. It's hard to witness. Yeah. 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 And I do feel like, yeah, my kids are affected, and it's hard. I'm learning to detach more, And Lisa Romano would say something too, was like, let go and love and light. And yeah. And I feel like because of how, especially like my oldest 2 children, how they were treating me, it's like I can't keep groveling and holding on to them because they were so disrespectful. I had no self-respect left. I would be just like groveling, and they're treating me horribly, and I couldn't accept that anymore. But I had so little just so little self-esteem. Like in things now, like getting this job, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I really, like I said, I started doing Airbnb because I couldn't find a regular job. And I look back and I go, maybe it wouldn't have worked out anyways, because I just think of things now, and I'm so much better that I'm farther along on my journey. Like for one, I probably wouldn't have passed the even the shallow water. So right now they're going to open up the outdoor pool, you guys, and I can't. And it's like, I don't want to, because she said at the meeting tonight, she's like, who's only taken the, and I need to text her because I think she wanted to talk to me, but I was like, I think, is it okay because I'm only working at the shallow water pool, I'm not going to go work at the outdoor pool because I didn't have the training for the deep water life-saving course. So I didn't have to go down deep and get anybody. Your daughter's struggling with your remodel, but why is she struggling with your remodel? What do you mean? Is she upset? Does she live near you? So the place you got, is it in New Mexico? New Mexico is nice. I want to be by the ocean, so that's why, but I don't know. Y'all pray for me. I'm excited. I'd love to live by the ocean. And it's only an hour. The ocean's only an hour from where my daughter is in Philadelphia. So, but oh, it's more than she thought it would be. Oh, a lot of work. Is she helping you with it? That's cool. I thought of getting a place to fix up, like, because my oldest son was in my son. I've always been like looking around, at different places, and why I'm excited right now is because my daughter said it, and I didn't even ask her. It was something like that in the back of my mind that I thought, and my son was up there in Pennsylvania for a little while, and I was looking around on Zillow and I saw this like fixer upper, and it's like, oh, I have the cash for this, let her send her brother over there to work on this house. Let me get a fixer upper there, and but he went back to Georgia, so but it was just something I was thinking, but I kept thinking like, but I'm not sure she would want me to live near her. So I was glad she told me that they loved spending time with me, and they would love for me to look for a place there. So I'm excited. But I have a lot of time, and I keep on thinking that for a couple of reasons. I was like, my car tags are due in March, and so I'm supposed to move out in February. I have my thing for my PO box for another year. I paid for that for another year. So it's looking like that's going to be probably a good time. Although I'd love to go sooner, but I don't think I will. I don't think I'll be ready. But and then in October, I will have had my job for a year at least. She would help even though she has zero free time. Oh. Do you have grandbabies there? Yeah, my daughter doesn't have. My daughter was showing me though her garden. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be jealous. She's planted apple trees and what other kind of fruit trees? Another kind of fruit tree. I can't remember what it is now. Oh, two different kinds of apples. Like one was a Granny Smith apple, and then one was a different kind of apple. I can't remember. She's planted. I think she said she planted. Was it potatoes? So I have two granddaughters now. Claire has, and then my oldest had a boy, my grandson, Noah. Let me say another poem for you, because I realize the connection to this poem. It gives me hope. And then I realized the connection because the rainbow is in the story with Noah. But because this poem did involve my children, or one of my children, really. But this poem gives me hope, and it's sort of become the theme of my channel because I pray for people, and it's about prayer, and it's called The Storm, and it's in the 7-story tree. Oh, I put my earrings on with the tree again that I got at the Denver Botanical Gardens. See? Okay, so it's in here, and it's called The Storm. And it's where that little thing I say, don't say that no one cares for you. It's in the beginning of this poem. Let me see what page is it on. It's one of the first ones I memorized too. My alarm is about to go off to pray for Claire. Let me see what page is it on. It's in this book. It's on page 26. Sounds like it's storming outside. The verse I put before this one is, you number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? Psalm 56, verse 8. I'm not going to read it because it messes me up when I try to show the pictures and read the elephant poem when I have it memorized. It messes me up. You say that no one cares for you? Well, that's not true, because I do, and God does too. Oh, that I could fix your problem. I'd mend you up. You'd no longer be stuck in that addiction or depression, the trials that come in rapid succession. But what can I do? I cannot fix you. I can't make you believe or even relieve that deep ache in your heart. Just where do I start? Don't do nothing, she yelled at me. So what should I do? Scream and shout and run about? Perhaps sit and pout? No, I'll fight a war upon my knees, and quietness and confidence shall be my strength. He keeps my prayers and my tears. Perhaps the overflow makes the rain to water all the pain upon the earth. I'll thank him for this thorn. I'll praise him even when I'm worn, 'cause he carries me through the storm. He walks to me on the tempest sea. The rain brings life back to my dying tree. And one day through the clouds, I'll see the rainbow. So, yeah, and that's in the 7-story tree. But I had so many interesting characters stay at my Airbnb, and I had this one homeless lady who came, and then uh, thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. Um, yeah, it's encouraging to me to say it too. So, and then when I see a rainbow, it encourages me because I was in a lot of ways my child that was about he's still in the storm, and that's been very difficult too. Um, it's very difficult because you want him to get the help he needs, and he's an adult. I can't control what he does, and it's just really hard. I just pray every day, and I can't let it uh, consume me, and it's difficult. So I ended up with these guests at my Airbnb, these long-term guests, and I was like, as time went on, like one was a and it was neat how God works, and how you know how the Bible says you need to abide in me, and that is so important because like I forget all I forgot, when I went away from God and I got mad, I got pissed off. I forgot all the things like God had done for me. So one of the things that he did is when I had this Airbnb and I was like, oh no, like now I'm in a mess because I had this regular Airbnb guest who was a plane mechanic, and then I had this CNA student who had this rich woman who said it was her aunt in California paying her way. And as I'm learning more about these people and their stories, and I'm like, so, and they seem really nice, but went off of Airbnb, right? And the uh, plane mechanic, because there's an Air Force base in where my Airbnb was in Warner Robins, Georgia. Hey, Paul. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. So he goes off Airbnb and he's paying me, but he starts paying me late. And I was like, and then because he's paying me late, I'm having checks bounce, and like this is when I was paying on all that credit card debt and stuff, and I'm just trying to keep my head above the water. And before I got the money from my dad, I still have the credit card debt, and then this seemingly sweet, and I'm having this problem with my own kids, and I'm like, And now I look back and I realize I was like, and I think I realized it some at the time too. I was like, wow, gee, I was such a bad mom that now people are paying me to be their mom, because a lot of this one, the CNA student, uh, she was my kid's age, and I'm like, I'm basically being paid to be her mom, I'm giving her room and board. I'm cooking her food. Um, that got to be too much too. I mean, I tried several things. Like I started having people pay for food, and yeah, mom for hire. That's like what I was. I was like, wow, I'm like my best Airbnb guests were like, I had the summer I went to see my dad, 2018. The summer of 2018, I had Gladys, and she ended up being my friend that I was based, at her house when I traveled in my RV, because she went up to St. Louis because she was in the Air Force. Hey Arnie, how are you? Good to see you. So we were codependently enmeshed too. That was all a mess too. I mean, it just messed up with my relationships. But anyways, I felt like these two Airbnb guests that, went off Airbnb, and then, this Amber, and her hair was blue. So we were like red and blue. And like we did, she loved Halloween. We carved pumpkins together and everything. She dressed as she got this too expensive. She couldn't afford it, but we went to Spirit Halloween, and she got this what's her name? The bat the oh, help me out. The superhero, the Suicide Squad. What's her name? She was, the one the Barbie girl plays. You guys know who I'm talking about. I can't even think of it now. The jester. I was Poison Ivy, and she was that one that I can't think of the name of her. You know who I'm talking about. The crazy one. The crazy. Is she a bad guy or a good guy? I don't know. But anyways, I was Poison Ivy, and she was that. I can't even think of her name. Harlequin. That's it. Harlequin. And we had just a lot of fun. But she was just, and I'm just like, I have got, and I prayed, and I'm like, I have got to get, and I told them, I'm going back to doing it on Airbnb. You need to book it on Airbnb, right? You need to book it on, that's it, Harley Quinn. Yeah, Harley Quinn. She was Harley Quinn, and I should find that picture. She was Harley Quinn, and I was Poison Ivy. So we were bad girls for Halloween. And so and she was so like this woman who wasn't really like related to her at all. She called her aunt, but it was like her stepdad's, I think it was her stepdad's sister. Her mom and dad had split up though, and it was her mom had been married to this man, and it was his sister that was trying to help her out, and she gave her the plan, right? And she was staying with this other man in the area, and something went wrong with that person, and then she booked my Airbnb, and I was just like, what in the world? You only know Harley Quinn because she was in she's a comic book character. the bad guy in Superman, and like so is uh, Poison Ivy. So that's who we were, and it was fun. But anyways, so these things start going on with this woman, and this woman says she's gonna buy her a car. I was like, wow. So this woman was gonna get her a car because mostly I was doing Lyft. I was driving for Lyft too, and I would give her a ride to work sometimes. And sometimes she'd pay, and sometimes she wouldn't. And this was all the things that were getting like, and I sensed like, okay, she's like, I'm the next person she's gonna, because this woman was getting annoyed with, and she was getting annoyed with the woman. And then I'm like, this woman is paying your way, and this woman says she's gonna get you a car. And then she would have talks with she got close to the plane mechanic guy, and they would have discussions, and I would just be there going, what, and I was just like, I don't get these people. And I'm like, and she was like, don't let her boss you around. And I'm like, this woman is helping you and paying your way, and why are you acting? And it was weird, and I was just like, and then I feel like I'm the next person that she wants to use. And she was going like she had this whole backstory about this boyfriend in Texas, and she left there, and every place she left, and this is wild when I think about it, because every place she left, she said like her ex-boyfriend in Texas attempted suicide. And then she was saying this man, who used to be her stepdad, the brother of the woman that was helping her, he was attempting suicide. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then she wants to leave here, and I'm going to be the one. It was like, she was like that cat that goes into the room, and then the person dies, and I'm like, and then like I'd sit there and I'd listen to her conversations with the aircraft mechanic, and I would just be like mind blown. I would be like, what the heck? And then I was praying. I was like, God, I have to get these people out of my house. I mean, and I was cooking for them, and oh, it was so funny too. I had all these little toys like I have now. Like, this is a rock I got from one of my Airbnb guests. I had all these little toys. Like I have the little bowling pins and bowling set, and I had a Rubik's Cube. And so one night Tony was the aircraft mechanic, and he would go back to his home. He had a little baby and a wife, and but they had moved away, and he was still working there during the week. So that's why he'd come and he'd pay during the week, and he'd come during the week, and he'd go home on the weekends and come back. He lived like in Savannah or something. But so that's how I got like close to these people, and I'm just like, and then I had a friend that helped me watch the Airbnb named Charity, and she was really sweet. She was really awesome. And she would stay at my Airbnb because she was going through a divorce, and her 4 kids, and they were younger than mine. Well, her like oldest kids were like my youngest child's age, about like that. I think her youngest kid was like 10 or something. He was wild. Oh, I remember that. I had to buy a new Slinky after he left. I had one of these as one of my toys. But one night, Tony took the the Rubik's Cube, right? And he was trying to put it, hey, Lindy, hi. I'm talking about my crazy Airbnb and, my codependent relationships and trying to help and fix everybody and then getting used and trying to get these people out of my house, right? And Lindy has a lot of great stories too. So one night, and see, this is the book I'm supposed to be writing, you guys. It's called Welcome to Reds, because that was my Airbnb was Red's Airbnb. And so the book is called Welcome to Reds. And, it's going to have the story with Muhammad. Muhammad came let's see. No, Amber and Tony actually came after Muhammad. Muhammad was 2018. Before Gladys and I had this boy, Sammy, were my best Airbnb guests. They went to church with me. I was going to the Lutheran, that was before I was away from God. And that's why I felt like God helped me with this whole situation. I was just like, okay, I have to be cool. I have to be kind. I have to be polite. I'm still I would make a big tray of, they loved my food. I would make banana pudding for Amber, and I just made all this good food. I would always grill and make shish kebab on the grill with chicken and then tomatoes and peppers, and it was so good. And then rice, and I would make lasagna or chicken pot pie, and I would cook for them too. And it was my Airbnb was costing me a lot of money. Honestly, I got all these little things that they were supposed to pay for, and put them in a basket in the bathroom. And then I couldn't leave them in the bathroom because people would just take them and not pay for them. I mean, some people, the good people wouldn't. But, so anyways, it was fun. But so I had these two people, and you guys, I prayed and I waited, and I kept saying to Tony, I was like, I'm going to do it all on Airbnb again. I was like, he is going to have to pay before if he does it on, yeah, it's all fun and games until it's not. So when I found out about the Rubik's Cube, let me finish it before I forget. He took it apart. Because right after that, I had a Japanese exchange student. She did it in 2 minutes. I still want to find that video. I must have it somewhere on my Facebook or something so I could put it on my YouTube. She was a Japanese exchange student, and she did it. And she was like, it's not she's like, somebody take this apart. And I was like, I don't know. I think Tony did. Because the next morning he came out, he took it to his room, and he's like, I'm going to figure this out. And he's like, look, I did it. He left a note look, I did it. And I'm like, you didn't do it. You took it apart and put it. Because the Japanese exchange student figured you out, man. So anyways, and then Charity came, and I promised her a stay. What she was doing was the kids would stay in the house, and instead of the kids having to go back and forth, she would be in the house with them on her week, and then her husband would come on his week. And when she wasn't at the house with the kids, she'd stay at my Airbnb. And she was working 2 jobs. And so Charity, and this was the last thing that Tony just kept annoying me. He blocked Charity in. So she couldn't, he's blocked me in, I can't get out. And then it rained, and there was all this mud, and Tony had this big red truck, and he came in and he made this big old hole in my yard with his truck. And I'm just I'm like, okay, don't say anything, fill up the hole when he leaves. I kept praying. And then what happened, you guys, is first first someone booked. I was like, I didn't leave the spot open for him because I said, you have to book it on Airbnb. I'm going to book it on, you have to, I kept telling him, you have to book it on Airbnb. I'm going back to doing it all on Airbnb. And that was my way out, without saying like, you don't pay me on time. So I have to go all back on Airbnb. So, and I was just like, Lord, just let them leave in peace. Lord, please just let them leave in peace. Lord, please just let them leave in peace. And so I kept praying, right? And first someone booked. And it was funny because I got a similar person, only better and not toxic. So I got another worker. He was working on the roads. He was working construction. And it was the same thing. I think he was somewhere in North Florida. He would come during the week and he booked it all on Airbnb. And he booked, and this was the thing too, he booked everything. He booked the weekend and he would be gone on the weekend. He booked it and paid, and he was nicer and he wasn't toxic. And oh gosh, what was that guy's name? He was so nice. He was so cool. So cool. I think he had a Jeep too. Really nice guy. And the same thing, like he had a wife, and I'm trying to think if he had kids too. I think he had kids too. But he would go home on the weekend, only he paid for the weekend. And he paid for like 3 months. And so that were my next. So I had 3 rooms, right? And I would always have 2 rooms. I would have long-term guests in, and I was like, yay, because, then I'm insured to have someone booked it, right? No B&B for me. Oh yeah. I don't know that I'd ever want to do it again, especially not where you live with them, because I had well, I told you guys all about Muhammad. I got 10 watching. Thank you all for being here. So I got to finish the story now. So I got someone booked in Tony's place. And then, so one Friday he's getting ready to go back. Right. And I said, someone booked your room. And he's like, you're kicking me out? I kept telling you that I'm going back to Airbnb. And somebody booked your room. And he had a TV. I would always put my chair in the front room in his room for him because he would play video games. And he had a TV in there. And so he took his TV and he left. And I was so glad. And then the next thing you know what? I go to the bath. I had moved into my den because I had 3 bedrooms and I was getting more business, right? And so I started out only renting out 2 rooms, and I was in the 3rd bedroom. I had a red room, a blue room, and a purple room. It was nice. The favorite was the Georgia Bulldogs room. It's on my the picture of it. It's on my Instagram. I don't think it's pinned to the top anymore though. But anyways, so I ended up moving in the den. And so right after Tony leaves and I go to the restroom and I hear Blue, we called her Blue. I hear Blue on the phone talking to Tony, like complaining about me and how awful I am. Because she called him like her brother, You broke up the family. Like I was the mom and they were siblings, Because he was about my oldest child's age. And like Amber was like my younger, she was like in her 20s and then he was in his 30s. But oh yeah, so that's what happened later. And it was codependency too. I mean, it was just it was such a difficult situation, like, because and I kept trying to tell um my friend Gladys that, like, but it was the same thing. I mean, she was like my oldest child's age too. And that she was so codependent. Oh my gosh. It's not even funny. And 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 I would tell her she needs to go to a therapist because her dad was like using her. And you know and then she got upset because I said something to this horrible renter she got. And then, like, he was paying, I think his mom was paying for it though, but he was still paying his rent, but he kept saying he was going to leave. And I was like, so when are you going to leave? And then she got mad at me because I said that. And he left his shit in the toilet. It was awful. It was awful. But so anyways, so Tony left and I'm still trying to get Amber out. Uh and I started talking to this woman that was helping, that had been paying for her. And that I found out, like, I learned a lot of things to doing Airbnb. And I learned you're not supposed to, someone with account, like, you can't book an Airbnb for someone else with your account. So Amber had to make her own account, and I was trying to get her to book the Airbnb. And she was just trying to get out of it and get me to pay and get me to let her stay. And I was talking to this woman on the phone. And thanks for coming in, Mary. Yeah. So I basically was the same way that I got her out. And then, so I wish I could remember the guy's name that replaced Tony, but it was the same thing. I got a sweet young girl, RN student, Caitlin, to replace Blue. And I'm just like, you guys, prayer works. I was just like, how could I forget all this story? Because I was just like, ugh. So in my prodigal stint in my RV, when, like, God worked all of that out for me too, that my house sold in the middle of the pandemic, and that I got my money from my house, and then I bought my RV. I found my RV. It was great. God was so patient with me. And so I prayed and I got through the bad Airbnb guests and those were my last two good long-term Airbnb guests. So it was like the first semester of school, and yeah, it was really good. But then, after they left, that's when I stopped doing Airbnb. I got another Airbnb guest that was, she was just nasty. She was just mean because she left me a bad review and never said anything to me that she was upset. Right. And then she gives me a bad review on Airbnb, and that just ticked me off. And I'm just like, I'm done doing this. But yeah, that was 2019. But yeah, we had homeless lady. We had girls that worked at the fair in Perry, the fair girls. I had this dog show lady. Oh my goodness. She was a mess too. And she was so mean to me when I was having a hard Mother's Day. And I would get these people that I would like, oh, it's my friend, and it's like friends like that. Like, that's what the bully ended up being. She was a friend. I thought she was a friend. And then I would end up like, I would be like, God, how do I end up with these friends? And it's the codependency. It's like these toxic people find, oh, you're the one that's going to put up with my BS. It's like, no, I'm not anymore. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was something. It was hard to get rid of them. But yeah, I prayed my way through that. But it ended up good that I didn't get a regular job. I did the Airbnb thing, and then I stopped that, and I didn't have anything that was holding me down in Georgia, because my kids that were there weren't talking to me, and I didn't have a job. I didn't I had been kicked out of the one Baptist church and went to the Lutheran church, but I didn't really like fit in there. I was going to this Lutheran church, but you have a great weekend too, Lindy. Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna wrap this up. Probably say another poem. Let me say my red poem from my new book that I need to work on. That I need to have time to work on. It's called Call Me Red. It's the title poem from Red Poems. Redeemed, equipped, delivered. So red is an acrostic for redeemed, equipped, delivered. So when I was away from God, I was like, what? I'm going to call this something else. But I couldn't, all my poems are about spiritual things. So I couldn't. I'm going to read it off my website. Let me put my website in the thing. Yes, have a good weekend, Lindy. This is my website. My eye's not working sometimes. It's very annoying. Okay, so this poem is Call Me Red. We're always in it. I see it, I face it, I put it on. Scarlet or vermilion or bluish red crimson. Old ladies with hats are winsome. Valentine's, Christmas, cars, leaves of fall. Team colors. It symbolizes blood and courage. Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall be as wool. That's from Isaiah 1. And that's where I got the name of my car, Snow White. Esau was red, and so was his stew. God didn't choose him, but he chose you. The sea was red, the Israelites went through. I said I didn't love you, but I lied. I thought you knew. I couldn't have put up with all that crap we went through without his love, which ran red. Your cold-hearted rejection cut like a knife. My blood ran red. So I wanted to hurt you too. Why don't we remember the good times? You always focus on the bad. Never speak life to me. So sad. Left me starving for attention and affection. Does anyone think I'm good or fair? I won't live in regret. We were all meant to be 5 beautiful children, don't you see? The thought of losing you could leave me so brutally blue. But no, just as Taylor said, loving you was riotously red. All right, I'm going to pray for everybody and let y'all go. Because Lisa A. Romano for the class goes live every Saturday morning. So I still need to, because it's 7 a.m. here, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So let me pray for you all and let you go. Dear Lord, thank you for all these YouTube friends and subscribers and everybody here tonight. I pray that you would bless them. Please be with Bren and bless her and her family. And please be with Lindy and continue to keep her safe and watch over her, Lord, and Marley. And we thank you for her and for her channel. Please continue to bless her channel. Please be with Mary and help her in her remodeling and bless her children and her grandchildren and be with her. I pray you be with Brenda and her family, Lord, and bless her. Keep her safe as she travels. And bless her children and her grandchildren. I pray you bless Arnie. And be with him. I'm sorry I missed your comment, Arnie. You decided to end your live early. Okay. Please bless Paul. And be with him and Lisa. And I thank you for them and thank you that he came in here tonight. I pray you bless. Let's see who else was here. Eric. Please bless Eric. Bless Elsa and her family and her kids. And please bless Betty and be with her and her family. Please bless Dolores and her family. Thank you for all these people, and I pray that you would be with them. I pray we'd seek you for guidance, Lord, that you would bless our children and our grandchildren. Please bless Ronald and his mom and keep them well and be with him. Thank you that Melody came in here. I pray you bless her and her family. Don't want to forget anybody. I think that's everybody. Melody, Ronald, Brenda. I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. So I'm going to let you guys go and I'm going to head to bed. Yes, blessings to everybody. Maker Mike. Hey. Hi. I was just finishing up. You can watch the replay. I was telling lots of crazy Airbnb stories. Oh, I'm glad, Dolores. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'm still plugging along, so the watch hours aren't going up right now. But I just gotta have faith. I'm getting ready, hopefully to move to New Jersey or somewhere near my daughter in Philadelphia, that area. So I'm going to be downsizing and all that. And hopefully, if I do have to get a job, I don't know. Hopefully, I will get my writing done. I just want to be able to have more time for YouTube and writing so that can make money instead of the job. So now that I have the job, I'm having less time for the writing and the YouTube, like it's kind of like, now it's like, I'm not quitting my day job. I finally got a day job and I need it right now. But anyways, don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. And don't say that no one cares for you, because I do and God does too. So I said it backwards. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for coming in, Maker Mike. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see y'all next Friday. Pretty soon I'm going to Philly for on the 8th till the 17th. So maybe I'll be able to do some filming then. So that'll be fun. All right. Good night. Love you guys. Thanks so much.